Hey there, guys. Donald2 here, the once broke electrician. And listen, today I have a little bit of food for thought for you today. I just came off YouTube. I was actually watching, because every now and then I go on YouTube to get my inspiration. And this one particular guy that I always check out his videos is Jim Rohn, one of the most motivational, to me, one of the most motivational speaker of all times. And here's what Jim Rohn said. Jim Rohn said, while you're on your job, right? Because that's what society taught us, to get a job, go to school, get an education, get a job, and go work for somebody, right? So while you're on your job, he says, don't ask yourself, what am I getting here? Ask yourself, what am I becoming here? And that kind of touched me to make this video today, because I remember when I used to work as an electrician in New York City. I used to work in buildings, right? Like bring buildings from ground up. We have to work on it. So sometimes we have to dig trenches to lay pipes and run wires. So this particular day, I was on a job and I realized that there's sometimes when there's nothing, there's just mainly ground, because you're digging trenches. There's nothing there yet. It's bare ground. And sometimes you can't find anything to sit down on. It's lunchtime. You know, it's dirt. Sometimes you got to find there's no wall for you to sit against or lean your back up against to get any comfort during lunchtime. So we used to get like a piece of wood, throw it on the ground and sit down. Or we get like a cinder block and sit down. Well, mind you, there's no walls for you to sit up against and feel comfortable. So I realized after the years were going by, right? And I'm telling you, I'm not sure if you know this, but working in construction, and guys, I'm telling you from what I've done for years, working in construction, after a while, it takes a toll on your body. After a while, you start having backaches, shoulder aches. It's like everything will start hurting. Why? Because you're constantly on your feet climbing ladders, or you on the ground digging, so you're bending your back, digging a hole, or you're fixing something. So you're always in some awkward position. So today when I actually saw Jim Rohn on YouTube saying, don't ask yourself what on your job, don't ask yourself, what are you doing here? The question to ask is, what am I becoming here? So when I was on that job, right, that particular day, and after a while, the guys used to not see me sit around. So this guy came to me one day and said, "Look, why is it that after a while, man, you're cutting out on us? You're not hanging around us anymore?" I said, "Listen, man, I'm having back problems. I can't really sit like you guys sit anymore. I have to get something to sit up against. I have to get like some type of something to, sit up against, like I'm sitting on a chair right now. You don't have that luxury when you work on a construction site most of the time." And I sat back in that room that day after the building went up, and I could find a wall to lean up against and sit up to have my lunch, right? I sat in that room that day and I said to myself, well, the years are passing, right? And I don't want to be a foreman on the job. And I do not want to be a super. And from the next level up from that in any construction company is either you're going to be a regular worker, a foreman, a super, and then who's next? The boss. And I said, being a foreman here is too much it's too much stress, right? And a super is more stress. So that's not stuff I really want to do, right? And here comes, I can't take the boss's position because that's his company. So what do? That's what I asked myself, what am I going to do? So I said to myself, what am I really doing here? Where am I getting here? What am I becoming here? When Jim Rohn really said that, ask yourself, what are you becoming? I had no place to become me, because I wanted some type of freedom. Not having to go sit in the cold out on the ground, or sit on a building block every day, or sit on a piece of wood on the ground every day. What was I really becoming? And when my friend actually showed me this business of working from home, it took me no time to say, you know what? I'm going to try this. Because why? I was open and I realized I wasn't becoming anything on my job, really. Because I was just working away. I remember one day my boss called me in the office. Actually, my boss said to me, "Hello, I'm going to give you a raise. You're a good worker." And he said to me, he didn't even, He just said, you're a good worker. He didn't ask you, normally your boss calls, how's everything going, how's your family? He didn't ask any of that. All he said, I'm going to give you a little raise, Lou, because I realize you're doing a good job. And when he was finished, that was it, right? So we're walking out of the office, right? And he pat me on the back one day, and he said to me, that particular day when he gave me that raise, he said to me, okay, Lou, he pat me on the back, right? And he said, okay, Lou, go out and make me proud. Those were his words, go out and make me proud. So guys, today I'm giving this food for thought again. I know how your boss is, but let me say this to you. Ask yourself, when you go to work tomorrow, whichever day, take a look, whether it's on your break time or your lunch time, go away in a corner somewhere to yourself and ask yourself. Don't ever ask, what are you getting by being here on your job? Don't ask that. Here's the question to ask. What am I becoming by being on the job? Okay, guys, ask yourself, what am I becoming? That's food for thought. On your job, ask yourself that. And guys, listen, this is Daddy 2, the once broke electrician. Share this with someone. This might have been of value to you, or it could be of value to somebody else. Share with someone, or click the link below to find out why I actually changed from being an electrician on a construction site to becoming a home-based business owner. And now I have that freedom that I wanted. When I was on a construction site, I didn't have that freedom. Now I have the freedom to see my wife, my family, my kids, spend time with them, and enjoy life. It's a beautiful thing to not having to push myself up against a piece of wood or sit in the dirt anymore, or try to find a wall to push myself up against because I had all these issues from working in construction every day. Guys, until my next video, have an awesome day, and remember this, I appreciate you.